Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever found yourself just standing there in front of an industrial control panel, staring at those glowing red numbers and wondering how to actually make the machine do what you need it to do, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we are going to completely demystify the XINJE VH1 control panel. We're going to take what often feels like a super cryptic, intimidating digital interface and transform it into a highly intuitive tool that you can operate with absolute confidence. All right, let's just dive right into it. When you first approach the raw LED panel of the XINJ VH1 with all those bright, blocky digits, it honestly feels like it's speaking a totally different language, right? It's undeniably been intimidating, but here is the secret. It's actually a highly logical, rule-based system. By the end of this explainer, we're going to decode this language together, and you'll realize it's literally incredibly efficient once you just know the rules of the road. To get you to that master level, we're going to hit 5 key areas today. First, decoding the hardware interface. Then, mapping out the 3-level menu architecture. Third, we'll actually complete a real operator's journey. Fourth, we'll look at some advanced navigation roles. And finally, access control and customization. Okay, part 1, decoding the hardware interface. So the absolutely crucial point here is understanding that this panel relies on what's called state-dependent logic. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, it means the physical buttons on the panel actually change their entire function based on what state the system is currently in. There are 2 primary states you've got to memorize: display status, which is basically your home screen showing current running metrics, and editing status, which is when you're actively inside the menus making changes. Think about the physical anatomy of the panel for a second. You've got a handful of primary controls. There's the menu key, which lets you enter or exit programming. The ENT or enter key is for saving or moving deeper. You've got a shift key to move your cursor, up and down arrows to change values, and of course, your standard run and stop keys for executing commands. There's also a really handy potentiometer knob for quick frequency adjustments. But those keys right there in the middle, menu, shift, and the arrows, those are your core navigation tools. This right here is literally the #1 point of confusion for new operators, so let's break it down cleanly. In display status, pressing menu gets you into the system. Simple enough, right? But in editing status, pressing menu acts as an escape or back button, stepping you back without saving. How about the shift key? Well, in display status, it cycles through what you're monitoring, like frequency versus voltage. But switch over to editing status and it suddenly becomes a cursor tool, selecting which specific digit you want to modify. It's the exact same physical button, but a totally different operational tool depending on where you are. Moving right along to part 2, the 3-level menu architecture. I love this spatial metaphor because it makes so much sense. Imagine the system like a multi-story building. The surface level, where you see your running frequency like 50.00 Hz, is the roof. Pressing enter takes you down to level 1, the floor, which houses your parameter groups like P0 or PC. From there, you descend to level 2, which is like picking a specific room on that floor, say PC00. And finally, you take one last step down to level 3, opening the safe inside that room to reveal the actual editable parameter data like 05.00. Right, part 3, the operator's journey. Let's actually put this into practice. Say our goal is to change our jog frequency from 5.00 to 8.05. We begin our descent. Starting from the display roof, where it says 50.00, we just press the menu key. The system instantly transitions into editing status and drops us onto the level 1 floor. The LED display now shows -P0-. We are officially inside the basic operation parameters group. But P0 isn't what we want. We need the auxiliary operation parameters, which are located in group PC. So we simply press the up arrow key continuously, scrolling across the first level until we locate our specific target department. We just stop when the LED displays -PC-. Now that we're on the right floor, we gotta find the right room. By pressing the enter key, we dive 1 level deeper into level 2. The display shifts to PC00. By default, it drops us right at the door of the very first index in that group. Because our target happens to be PC00, which controls the jog frequency, we are exactly where we need to be. Time for the final descent. We press the ENT key one more time, diving down into level 3. We have officially opened the vault. The screen now displays 05.00. This is the actual data living inside parameter PC00. and it's now completely exposed and ready for us to modify. Now, here is where the editing gets super efficient. We don't want to just hold the up arrow and wait for the 5 to slowly, painfully tick up to an 8. Instead, we use the Shift key to instantly pinpoint the 1s digit. The number 5 will start flashing. Then, we simply tap the up arrow 3 times to cleanly dial that digit up to an 8, making the display read 08.00. We just keep that rapid edit sequence going to finish our task. We hit that Shift key 2 more times, moving the flashing cursor over to the hundreds place, the final 0. We then bump the up arrow 5 times. And boom, just like that, we've successfully hit our target parameter value of 08.05. Mission accomplished, but we gotta secure our changes and get out of there. We press NT to save the new data. The system actually auto-advances to the next parameter, PC01, just in case we have more work to do, but we don't. So we just rapidly press the menu key twice. Each press surfaces us layer by layer, pulling us back up from the depths until we're safely back on the top-level display, seeing our home status. All right, Part 4, Advanced Navigation Rules. Picture this. It's a super common scenario. You've perfectly navigated down to level 3. You're staring right at the parameter value you want to change. You press the arrow key, but nothing happens. You mash it a few more times. Still nothing. The digits refuse to flash. You are completely locked out of making a change. So what on earth is going on? Well, this is what we call the no flash rule, and it's actually a critical safety mechanism. If there's no flashing cursor, you cannot modify the value. This usually happens for one of 2 reasons. First, it might be read-only data. Like if you're looking at the bus voltage in group U0, you can't edit that. It's a live sensor reading, not a setting you can tweak. Second, it could be a running state lockout. The system knows it's fundamentally unsafe to change certain motor parameters while the motor is actively spinning. You literally have to issue a stop command to the machine before it'll unlock that parameter for editing. Finally, Part 5. Access control and customization. First up, security. The VH1 has a really solid vault-like security mechanism known as the password gate. If the system admin has set a user password, the moment anyone presses menu from the surface level, they're completely intercepted. Instead of entering the menu architecture, they're hit with a 5-digit verification screen. There is absolutely no deep diving allowed until the correct 5-digit code is punched in using the Shift and arrow keys to unlock the gate. And here is the absolute ultimate operator's shortcut. The VH1 has hundreds of function codes. Diving through 3 levels every single day for your 5 most used settings, that's a huge waste of time. The solution is Group P. Think of this as your fully customizable favorites folder or dashboard. You can map up to 32 of your daily essential parameters directly into this one group. By doing this, you completely bypass the deep menu diving, bringing everything you need for day-to-day operations into one highly accessible spot. Bringing it all together, think about the master loop and how all of this builds into one beautifully unified map. This master loop perfectly summarizes the cyclical logic of the entire VH1 system. It maps out the descending logic on one side, pressing menu to enter, ENT to go deeper into level 1, 2, and 3. Down at the bottom is your editing phase with Shift and the arrows, and then on the other side is the ascending logic, ENT to save, and menu to step back up and exit to the surface. It's just a perfect logical loop. So you now have the absolute blueprint to master this panel. Those intimidating lights and cryptic menus, they're just a logical architecture waiting to be navigated. As you head out to your equipment, ask yourself, which vital parameters are you going to map to your customized Group PE dashboard to streamline your operations today? Take control of your interface, apply these rules, and make your workflow smoother than ever. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer.